All right, so this is the Chapter 1 Fundamentals of Algebra Test Review. So I'm just going to go over this, and I'll post it up on Schoology for you guys. All right, so we don't have to go through everything. Let me just get rid of this here. All right, so first type of problems you guys are going to have to do are graph the numbers of a number line. There's a part one, but I'll get to that at the end. So for this section, you can use a calculator. All right. So first thing you want to do is make all of these things into like a decimal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in negative square root of 6 into my calculator, and I get negative 2.45. 2/3, type that in. That is going to be 0.667. And this will be negative 0.667. So now what I want to do is I want to plot these points on the number line. So I have 4. I have negative square root of 6 is negative 2.45. So I think that's going to be right about there. And right is this negative square root of 6. 2/3, well, 2/3 will be right about here. 0, right there. And negative 2/3 is right there. So on the line, I'm going to write, because it says in increasing order. So I write them as they appear from left to right. So I have negative square root of 6, negative 2/3, 0, 2/3, and 4. And I would do the same for 8. So for 8, we have 3.4, 0.3, negative 2/5, so that's negative 0.4. Square root of 5, that's going to be 2 something. So that's 2.23. And 5/2 is 2.5. Now I'm going to go ahead and plot these points. 3.4 right about here. 0.3 right about there. Negative 2/5, that's going to be right about there. I'm going to write it underneath. All right. And then we have square root of 5 is 2.23. And 5/2 is 2.5. So I'm going to go ahead and write these. So that's negative 2/5. Then we have 0.3. Then we have the square root of 5, 5/2, and 3.4. For this section, it says, place the correct symbol, less than, greater than, or equal to, in between. So which one's bigger? Well, the absolute value of negative 3/4 is 3/4, and the absolute value of 4/5, and I take the opposite of that, is negative 4/5. So 3/4 is bigger. That one's easy. The absolute value of negative 1.8 is 1.8, and the absolute value of 1.8 is 1.8, so you can see that they are equal. The absolute value of 47 is 47. The absolute value of negative 27 is 27, so you can see that 47 is bigger. Now here, you got to complete the box. It says terms. Well, if we divide this up where there are addition and subtraction signs, you get your terms. So they're 7x, comma, negative y, comma, 9x, comma, negative 2y, and 12. Now it says like terms. These are going to be the ones that have the same variable. So that's 7x and 9x. Then we have negative y and negative 2y. Coefficients, these are the numbers in front of your variables. So the coefficients for x and the coefficients for y. Okay. So the coefficients for x would be 7 and 9. For y would be -1 and -2. The constant, this one's easy, it's the one without any variables, that's 12. Now, simplest form means I want to combine my like terms, okay? So I'm gonna kind of deal with this like term box here. So I'm gonna combine my x's, so 7x and 9x is 16x. -y and -2y is -3y. And then the 12, the constant, doesn't have anything to combine with. For part 5, questions 13 through 15 ask me to simplify the expressions. So here I'm going to combine my like terms. So that's going to be, let's see, sorry. So -2x and x, that's going to be -x plus 4y minus 10. So I just combined my x's there. For this, I'm going to distribute this -3 first. So 4y plus 6x minus 3x plus 6y. And now I'm going to combine my like terms. So combine my y's, combine my x's. So let's do the x's first. So it's 3x. And then my y's would be plus 10y. For here, we have to distribute twice. Don't forget you're distributing a -2 here, so this is 5x squared minus 45x minus 6x minus 8 plus 7. So 5x squared has nothing to combine with. The x's, right here and here, they combine to give you -51x. And then my constants can be combined to give me a -1. Oh no. There we go. So for part 6, we are going to evaluate the expression for the given value of x. That means I'm going to substitute in -2 for x and 5 for y. So this becomes 4, or -4 times -2 squared plus 6 times -2 times 5. Once it's in this format, you could use your calculator or you could use your brain. I'm going to use my brain. So -4 times 4 plus, that's going to be -10 times 6 is -60. So it looks like I'm going to get -76. Okay? Here, for 17, we have 4 times -3 squared minus 5 times -3 plus 3. -3 squared is 9. So I have 4 times 9 plus 15 plus 3. So that's 36 plus 15 plus 3. So that's going to be 51, and I got 54. A is 2, so I have 3 times 2 times -2 squared plus 5 times 2 squared times -2 minus 1. That was a lot to say. So I have -2 squared is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, so 4 and 6 is 24 for the first part. Then we have 5 times 2 squared, that's 20, times -2 is -40, minus 1. So we have 24 minus 40 minus 1. So I got, what, -17. Now again, if I made a mistake, it's because I don't have a calculator. I'm not a big fan of it, but, you know, let me know if I made a mistake. Now it says translate the verbal phrase into the algebraic expression. So this is like, 1/5, the absolute value of the quotient of a number, and for a number I'm just going to call n, so the absolute value of n divided by 4. the product of 3 and the square of a number is decreased by 4. So the product of 3 and the square of a number, so it's 3n squared, is decreased by 4. So we have minus 4. At the end, 100 increased by the product. All right, increased means addition. The product means multiplication of 15 times n. All right. Now we have write an expression. So write an expression for the advertising ad shown in the figure. What is the unit of measure for the area? So for these, what we have to do is we have to write the expression. So it says for the area. Well, the area is length times width. So that's going to be 6w times w, or 6w squared. Both are okay. And now it says, what is the unit of measure for the area, and what are the units? So the units would be feet squared. All right, the last page here. This is a no calculator page. Okay, so this is why it started on question 7. So you will have a no calculator section. All right, so pay attention to that. Here's how we do it. For the first one, make everything a fraction. Now, you can either multiply across or cross cancel. So I like canceling first. So the 3's cancel out. 2 goes into 4 2 times. So this becomes 1 times negative 1 times 1. That's negative 1. All right, and on bottom I have 1 times 2 times 1. That's 2. So the first problem was negative 1/2. Problem number 2. When you divide fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that. Now again, I like to cancel. So that's a 5. That's a 2. Okay. The negatives, negative times the negatives are positive. So I'm going to get 5 halves. Okay. With a problem like number 3, okay, you have mixed numbers. Well, what you need to do is make them improper fractions. So 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1 is 33. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 5 is 45. Don't forget this problem's negative, so it's negative 45 over 8. Don't be the kid that does 8 times negative 5, gets negative 40, then adds 5 and gets negative 35. All right, remember, add the negative at the end, just like me. Now here, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. Now, 8's cancel. 3 goes into 33 11 times. 3 goes into 45 15 times. So this is just negative 11 15ths. For a question like number 4, all right, take it one step at a time. So I'm going to do 6 squared. That's 36 divided by 9. So I have 72 minus 8 times the quantity 36 divided by 9 is 4. 8 times 4 is 32. 72 minus 32 is 40. And the last 2 problems here, done just like that. So 8 times 3 squared, well, 3 squared is 9. Minus 4 times 12 plus 3 is 15. So 8 times 9 is 72. 4 times 15 is 60. So I have 72 minus 60, which is 12. Down here, for number 6, we have our fraction. I'm going to deal with the top and the bottom. So the top, 7 squared is 49. 2 times 11 is 22. 5 squared, now this is the bottom, is 25. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. 49 minus 22 is 27. 25 minus 16 is a big old 9. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So there you have it. There's your review.